Good morning. The sun is so beautiful. I'm in Pennsylvania, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Blairsville, actually, Indiana County, I think it is. And I feel the fall coming. It's so beautiful here. Good morning, guys. I just show you the sunrise. And I start thinking about the beginning of another day. Hi, Jim. And the people who don't get to see the sunrise. It's a little gorgeous. Hi, Linda. Good morning. Hi, Darla, you're awake. It's absolutely beautiful here. It feels like fall has descended on western Pennsylvania. It happened a couple days ago. I started noticing all the trees starting to turn, which is good for me because, I'm a Floridian and we don't get any seasons. Okay, that's not true. We do have seasons in Florida. They're just not all that noticeable. I do miss Florida. I absolutely miss the ocean so much. But tomorrow, weather permitting, I get to go kayaking. So fingers crossed that works out. It has been the craziest time. Yeah, I know, Linda. They are in a better place. They're with the sunrise. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but for those of us left behind, sometimes it's hard to see the sunrise and think about just the way life changes. Hi, Mula. It's really hard to believe that I left Florida like 2 weeks ago or something. Good morning, JJ. And it's like the whole world changed. The whole world has changed. Oh, the real's calling me a cougar. Okay. You do need to be respectful. I haven't done anything to make you think I'm a cougar. That's just ridiculous. I'm not here looking for any of that. I'm here to welcome you to Sunday. Oh, Russell, nothing's wrong with Florida. I love Florida and I want to go home. Akuma, I'm offended because I'm not a cougar. I'm a widow. I'm a widow and I'm still married to my husband even though he's not here anymore. So I don't appreciate you lying about me like that. So don't do that, okay? Just be respectful. It's not a compliment. It's only a compliment to people who think like that. It's not a compliment. It's rude, okay? I don't think you need to be on my show if you're going to talk to me that way. And you can't say whatever you want to me. It's my show. And if you say things that are rude and disrespectful, you get kicked off of my show. Yeah, I'm allowed to do that. So, no, you don't have any freedom of speech. And Spirit just took away your freedom of speech. This is my show. You don't get to be rude. Hi, Canada. How's it going, Penelope? Woo, it's super windy out here. And of course, Jill still looks like she's dressed for Florida. Because every time I come up north, I forget how cold it really is. And how Floridians cannot take the coldness. Thank you, Marbella. I know, it's okay. Hi, Susie. I don't donate to anyone, so I haven't donated to the NAACP, but I don't have any problem with the color of your skin, so it's okay. Yes, Alex, I am a journalist. Thank you, Olive. Hi, George. Hey, Marco. Thank you from Italy. Hi, Wisdom. Okay, we've got nice people on today. I'm not in Germany, but I do speak German. Yeah, well, apparently some people don't understand that that's not a compliment to call someone a cougar. Maybe I can educate you guys. A cougar is an older woman who goes after younger men. I'm a widow. I do not date. My love is the Lord. And I've no desire to be with a younger man ever, ever. I have a son, okay, so I don't do things like that. So, thank you, John Boy. A lot of people need to be hidden today. So anyway, here we are, live in Blairsville, Pennsylvania, getting to see. You can't feel the wind, but you can see that it's very windy here. It is. I know. I need a screen for my mic right now, Tyler. I didn't expect it to be this windy. But my opinion on free speech is that you can say whatever you want, but you're not immune from the consequences of your speech. Hi, London. I'm in Pennsylvania right now, and I'm not a Penn State fan. I went to Ohio University. I'm not a fan of higher education. I think it's a ripoff. And I went to college. Send us home with leftovers in a butter container. I won't do that, Russell. I'm not that kind of mama. I know, Tyler. Mother Nature's like, whoosh. You guys are fun this morning. Hello. And then we have rude people. Didn't your mother ever teach you? You can say what you want, but, well, actually, you can't say what you want on the beach report. Oh, we've got another troll. Okay, well, my mods are working. I'm not going to do the moderating right now because I have wonderful moderators. Thank you guys so much for being my mods. You're the best. Except I keep still, yeah, okay, I'll let you moderators work. I guess I have to say something about it. Thank you, Grey Wolf. When you come on a show like mine and you see me, some people's first reaction is to say something super rude. I don't understand why. I haven't done anything to make you think that you can speak this way to me. So we see a friend. Thank you, Kenneth. Hi, Lucian. What does my last name mean? It means it's my last name. I don't know what you think. What does your last name mean? And no, Alex, I wrote for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for a long time, but I don't write for any newspapers anymore. So why do you think I have back pain? I don't understand. Yeah, I know, Laura, they have low IQ people who speak like this. Hello, Herdesh. Exactly, Jay Wood. Everyone enjoy life. I don't have to show you anything. I love Pittsburgh too, but I don't ever want to live there again. I relocated from Pittsburgh to South Florida 10 years ago, and I never looked back. But when I come back to Pittsburgh, I do feel super loved and appreciated, and I have a lot of good friends here. And I don't know who Kirk Hammett is. Metallica. I don't know. I'm not really a Metallica fan. Hi, Harvey. Hi, Agent 47. I am in Indiana County, I think, Blairsville, Pennsylvania. I'm not a Steelers fan. I mean, I guess I like the Steelers because I'm from Pittsburgh and I have to, but I really don't care about sports, so I can't tell you anything about that. Um, you guys are going fast and furious today. Yes, the countryside is beautiful. Why don't we focus on that right now? This is one of the most beautiful golf courses. And there's nobody playing golf right now, but I guess because it's early. No, I'm not taking boyfriend applications. I absolutely don't want any boyfriend. I don't want another husband, anything. You know, I'm a widow and I still love my husband even though he's not here. So I'm still married to him and I have nothing to do with dating. Not interested. I just want to be myself. I'm going to be 60 years old this year, so I'm taking it extra special. Yeah, hi Vanity. Hey Troy. Tony. India. You think I'm in India? This is Pennsylvania. Okay, so what did I want to talk about this morning? Well, as you know, there's going to be a memorial tonight for Charlie Kirk. And like I said, I left Florida, I think, was it 2 weeks ago? It was in New Jersey for Labor Day. And then I was in Philadelphia. And then we headed off to Gettysburg. And then we went to West Virginia. We were in Harper's Ferry. And after that, we were here in Blairsville. So I've been everywhere doing everything. Hey, Lucian. Your birthday was on the 10th. Oh, you're my age. So you're Gen Xer. I'm a Gen Xer, by the way. I'm one of the first Gen Xers. The best, most important generation that ever was and ever will be. Just saying. Just saying. I always feel sorry for the people who come on here and say stuff about me being old. I'm old. I'm old. I own that. That's fine with me. I'm old. I'm still alive. Here's the other thing about being old. I lived in the 80s. The 80s were the best. And if you didn't get to live in the 80s, I feel sorry for you. Just saying. Anyway, I'm trying to keep that sun in the back of my head. So, 64 years old. I can't wait to turn 62 because apparently that's when you get all the free goodies for being old. When you're 60, you get nothing. You just get like gray hair, which I'm okay with. I actually like the way that my hair is colored itself. And I don't wear makeup anymore. I wear a little bit of lipstick and that's it. So that's all we need. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Hey, NYC, thank you. Hey, Edson. Yeah, the 80s were great for everybody. I don't know about colors of skin. Who really cares? So, anyway, it seems like since I left Florida, the beginning of this month, the beginning of September, everything went crazy. Really, really crazy. Thank you, George. And here we find ourselves on the verge of a worldwide memorial for Charlie Kirk. I was just on X, and I just found out that Charlie Kirk follows me on X, and I didn't even know it. I was pretty excited to see that. Aw, thank you, great hand. I don't think I was a heartbreaker in the 80s, Chris. I was just another girl. I didn't greet the South African. I didn't know there was a South African on. Hello, South African. Good morning, Ronnie. Hi, guys. Hi, David. Thank you. I just wanted to share this beautiful sunrise with you because that's what I do. It's the beach report, and I don't have a beach. So it's kind of hard for me to see the sunrise and be like, where's the ocean? Thank you, 29-year-old. I hope someday you get to be 62. Okay, so I wanted to tell you what happened yesterday. I had a book signing here in Blairsville. It was the first book signing I've ever had, and there were no people, like zero. I had a book signing in Homer, Pennsylvania. I think it was last year or the year before. I think it was last year. And Homer's library was so small, like it was the size of a closet, but 5 people showed up, which was great. So no one showed up in Blairsville for my book signing yesterday, except I'm not 62 yet, Tiggs. I'm not even 60 yet. I'll be 60 in November. But thank you. Anyway, 21. Wow, Elton, thank you. You guys are great this morning. Thank you so much. Anyway, especially after yesterday's book signing with no people. And it wasn't bad. It actually worked out really well for me because, so my new book, it's been a year since I published it, but it always seems like it's still a work in progress. Anyway, it's about my adoption. It's called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And it's about kind of the beginning of my life and the way that I was actually, this is weird, but when I was in college, I found out that I was being stalked by my biological father. Can you even? And he just showed up in my college dorm and he didn't even tell me who he was. He pretended to be friend of the family. So anyway, I wrote a book about it and it took me 40 years to publish this book. 40 years. I write and I just was really shy about putting it out there. So finally, I did it last year. I published it. I have already sold about, maybe near 200 copies. And that's without being on Amazon or selling it in a bookstore or anything. Just doing it all by myself because of you guys, my readers. Some of you are my readers. Some of you don't even know who I am, but I am an author. And I am a shy author, because I wrote a book about my life and I'm like kind of squirrely about putting it out there. So I had this book signing yesterday in Blairsville and the only ones there, my friend Darla and the librarian Carol. And it turns out it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me yesterday, because that librarian and my friend Darla, the two of them, really helped me get ready for my book signing on Tuesday in Cranberry Township, which is right outside of Pittsburgh. And that's where I'm from. Oh, Lucian, I can definitely sell you a copy of my book. I would be very happy to do that, actually. Anyway, I had this book signing in Pittsburgh, which is where I wasn't born there, but I was raised there. I was a newspaper writer for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for a long time. And I also was the executive editor of a local magazine, so I have a footprint in Pittsburgh from a long time ago, because I haven't lived there in 10 years. But every time I come back, my friends are still there. That's the great thing about Pittsburgh, is that it's a hometown. And hometown means most people don't leave. So when you leave a hometown, then you can always come home to the hometown, which is what's so great about being from Pittsburgh. Anyway, my book signing's on Tuesday, and I know there's going to be people there because they already had to RSVP. So I know for sure it's going to be a lot. Like at least a dozen people so far, which I think is a lot, especially when you have a book signing with nobody. So I am very excited about this book signing, but I'm also kind of nervous because the book's about my life. And all of the people in the audience, well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are my friends from Pittsburgh, from forever. So I was pretty nervous about, I still am pretty nervous about Tuesday. However, having a book signing with just the librarian and my friend was really helpful for me because I was able to kind of practice on them. I read some parts of my book that I want to read at my book signing, and they were like yay or nay on that, which was great. And they just really helped me kind of get a grasp on it. So, good morning, Southern Indiana. Hi, Fred. How's it going? Why are good people always replaced? Well, Lucifer, they do say that only the good die young. So I don't know about that. There are still very good people in the world. And I think that we can all be those good people in the world if we just embrace happiness and positivity. Solution, I found out that my dad was stalking me because, and I wouldn't even say my dad, because that's a familiar way of talking about your father, and I didn't know this man at all, but he just showed up at my dorm in college, and he and his wife, who was not my mother, and they lied, and they said that they knew my dad back in the day, in the town where I was born, which was Denver, Colorado. And you don't love me. You don't even know me. Anyway, that's how I found out that I was being stalked. I was 17 years old. And I was already going through a lot because my parents were getting divorced at the time. And I knew I was adopted as a baby. So it was a lot of craziness back then. But now as I'm looking at 60 years, it just seems like, yeah, creepy is right. I look back on it all, and it doesn't even seem like it was my life. And it makes me think about all of you people who have books inside of you. I urge you to write your book because it will give you a perspective on your own life. And you're right, Lucian. Everything that happens in your life that seems really bad, it definitely makes you stronger. Every time. And you really can get a lot of insight just from writing about your own life, even if you never show anybody. But here's me. I'm showing everybody, and it is scary, but it's okay. I'm a writer. It's what I do, so I'm used to it. Anyway, why do people have to say such rude things to me? Really, Life of Dan? Like, what is this all about? The level of rudeness, it shocks me. It makes me wonder about you. How can you trust in your own memories? What kind of a question is that? I have an excellent memory, but a lot of the things that I've written, I wrote at the time of when it happened. So I have always, it's venting frustrations of life. Okay, that makes sense. I've always kept a journal. I've been a writer since I was 10 years old. So I've always written down my feelings and my life. So I have a lot of insight into that. Thank you, Lucian. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. So I'm a journalist, Natalie. So I like to write real things. I don't write fiction. I don't like fiction. I don't want to make things up. I'm not good at that. I'm good with the truth. Thank you, Marla. My book is called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And I will put it in the comments here. And if you look all over my page, you'll see I've got lots of links to it and stuff. And you can buy it on my website. That is jillbooks.com. It was, thank you, Heel. That's very kind. So, no, the book is not a collection of journal entries. Here's how I did it, okay? And this is interesting because when you write about yourself, there's a lot of things that you have to keep in mind, especially if you're writing about yourself, you know you're writing about other people. So you're actually, you always have to be aware of the same things. I'm not reporting for Israel. What are you talking about? I don't get it. Oh my gosh. I'm getting really sick of these stupid comments. You know, stop body shaming me, okay? I'm not naked. I'm not wearing clothes to entice you. I'm not a hooker. And you shouldn't treat me that way. It's really mean. Like, it's like I wonder about you. Like, Re-examine your goals. That's all I can say. Okay, thank you for the real questions. Can I ask what you thought of your real dad when you met him, when he stalked you? Okay, first of all, I didn't know that, well, at the time when I met him, I didn't know who he was because he lied to me. But I did know that something was wrong. And I write this extensively in my book. I knew that these people who came to my college dorm were not who they said they were. I knew that they were lying to me. I was only 17 years old. I thought everything was really weird. Everything they said was crazy. And the way they treated me was strange as well. And they took a lot of pictures of me, which was also really weird. So finally, my parents confronted them. My parents called the police. And they talked to this guy. And it turned out that he had been following me for most of my life. And he had found out that my parents were getting divorced and decided that was the best time to come into my life and try to, I don't know what. I think he wanted me to be his daughter after 17 years. I don't know. I'm not really sure what he wanted. It was very clear from the way he behaved that he didn't look at me as a person. He looked at me as some kind of an extension of him. He wanted me to be just like him. Look, I'm not naked. Why do you keep talking about me like that? What are you doing? This is so rude. Anyway, Dooney, my past is behind me. It's in a book. Because I'm a writer and that's what I do. I write books. And it's a really good book. And it's a book about my life, not just that I was adopted and that I was stalked and all that stuff, but it's also a coming of age book. It's about growing up. It's about finding out that most people are liars. It's about finding out that the world isn't the same place that you thought it was when you're a little child and you have so much trust in the grown-ups. It's about being betrayed by your own parents. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's also a fun book. Okay, Sandy. I think you have given me the best advice of this morning. I will not be looking at these nasty comments. I'm not even really going to look at them, but that's kind of sad because this is an interactive show and I do like to talk with you guys. And if I can't do that, then it kind of takes it away. So I guess I'll just let my mods do their jobs. I have wonderful moderators. Okay, I won't let them distract me. Thank you. Elroy, you can get the book on my website, jillbooks.com. JILLBOOKS.com. So anyway, I've been thinking about writing your life story because in doing this, I have really freed myself to kind of be able to talk about things that happened in the past that were painful, crazy, made me who I am. And Kenneth, you cannot download the book yet, but I have to do that. I have to make it an ebook. I also want it to be a audiobook, since everybody seems to like the way that I read. You guys, it's hard to look at these comments. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but sometimes I really just can't believe that people talk like this. Okay, anyway, moving right along. So I'm gonna have this big book signing on Tuesday, and all these people I've known my whole life are gonna be there, and they're gonna read my book, and they're even gonna find out, and I'm just gonna say this, I know it's gonna excite a lot of you crazy people, but in this book, and somebody was asking how I did it. So it's not a journal, it's a story, and I changed all the names of the characters. Like the first part of it, there's an introduction that I write as me, as myself. And then I get into the story where I change everyone's names because I'm protecting other people. I don't want to spill everyone's secrets. That's not what my book is about. But there are some people who maybe should be called out. I also waited to publish my book until my mother had passed away. And that was back in 2013 because she was very hurt by my parents' divorce, and then the fact that I had other parents hurt her too. Even though she adopted me, knowing that there were people in the world who also had that claim, but it hurt her for some reason. And I never ever wanted to hurt my mom. Hi Sawdust, my book is called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And it's about being adopted and being stalked by my biological father, which is the twist in my story. You know, most adopted people never meet the people who gave them up for adoption. I have a brother and sister, and they have never, ever come across anyone who has their same bloodline. And they've never looked, and no one's ever looked for them. And I do kind of feel like weird that of the three of us, I was looked for and found. And it does make me feel good that these people didn't seemingly forget me and that I do know my story, because I am that kind of person. I would have wanted to know. I would have looked if I could have, but I never was given the chance to look for myself because they came at me. And it was good. I mean, in the end, I learned a lot. And I also learned that the man who's contributed to my life is not somebody who I ever want to know. And that was really hard to come to grips with. My biological father is, I'm not going to say he's not a good person because I'm not the judge of him. That would be God's job. But as far as my life goes, what he did was wrong and awful. And he hurt me in a lot of ways. I'm over it. I'm okay. He continued to hurt me throughout my life. He probably stalks me to this day, and I'm sure he is going to find a way to get his hands on my book, and I hope he does. I do hope he does. Hey, Jason. Jason was adopted too. You never met your mother or your father. Now, see, this is, John, thank you so much. I mean, Jason, thank you so much for this. This is why I'm here right now, is to reach people like you. John has never met one family member, and my brother and sister have never met one family member. So I get it. I know how that goes. I'm gonna stalk my daughter forever, Kenneth. I don't know. It's really weird. You know, it's a family thing. So it's probably not helping you, Reggie. I'm trying to help the people who need to be helped. My YouTube show is reaching 2.5 million people, so I'm pretty sure there's at least one or two of you there who need to hear this and maybe need to write a book yourselves. So some of you are super nice and some of you are super rude, and yeah, I never know what I'm going to get. When you put yourself out there in the universe, you got millions of people coming at you and saying crazy things, you know. It's weird. It's really weird. Street Guru, if you feel like you need to write a book, then you need to write a book. Okay, so here's something else that I wanted to talk about as far as being a book writer. So I did it myself. I published my own book. And when my mother died in 2013, she left me some money, and I wanted to do something with that money that would sustain me. I knew that's what she would want, was for me to be able to take care of myself, since I was divorced and had 2 children. And so I published my first book, and it wasn't the story of my life because it just wasn't ready to do that. It's very difficult to write about yourself and to put it out there for the whole world. So instead, I wrote about something else that had affected me so much, and that was 9/11. My brother survived 9/11. He was in New York City at the time, and he was in a building that was adjacent to the Twin Towers. So he was safe, thank God. But I didn't know that on that day. So on 9/11, I was terrified that my brother and all the other people, but you know, when it's a family member, you're going to focus on them. So I decided after, I think it was about 10 years after 9/11, and I realized that nobody was talking about 9/11, and the kids weren't even learning about it in school, in some schools. So I decided to write a book about the way 9/11 affected me and my family in a diary form. And then the other half of the book is about the way 9/11 affected mostly kids, because at the time I was a municipal and school district and news reporter for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Thank you, Reggie. I'm glad. So I wanted to write a book that would accurately reflect kind of the feelings, and I had written all these articles for the newspaper, so I repurposed them into my book that is called Like It Was Yesterday, A Journalist's File Since 9/11. And I wrote it as a history book so that those of you who were not old enough or not even born yet could learn about how we felt about 9/11. And I don't live in Pittsburgh anymore, JK. I moved 10 years ago when I published my first book about 9/11. I moved to Florida. And I was just so tired of living in the cold weather here in Pennsylvania. The winters are brutal, and I became convinced that I was going to slip on ice, hit my head, and die. So I decided to move to Florida, and it was actually the very best thing I could have done. Okay, do the same for COVID. You know what, Texas, you're right about that too, because I did a lot during COVID. In fact, when COVID hit, I was living in Fort Lauderdale at the time, and I would break onto the beach. Yeah, they wouldn't let us on the beach. They had the police tapes everywhere saying that the beach was dangerous. But, you know, I lived there, so I know how to get onto the beach if I wanted to. And I did. And I would go on the beach, and I would have literally hundreds of people, just like right now, hundreds of people watching me walk into the ocean, not wear a mask. I never got the jibby jab. And a lot of people followed me because of that, because I was kind of a guiding light during COVID. I wouldn't let anybody lock me down. And in Florida, we didn't go through the really big lockdowns like a lot of people did up north. We were a little bit more free, but it was still very oppressive. And I took it upon myself to be one of the free people, letting you all know that COVID wasn't real, that it was the flu. I'm pretty sure it was the flu now I look back, and it was the flu. It was some kind of a mutant flu, of course. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. I'm so mad about it, about the way that they destroyed, especially Generation Z, all the little kids who were growing up and being told to cover their faces, and they couldn't learn social cues. And I wonder why a lot of people, or I wonder if a lot of the people coming on this show right now and saying crazy things, if you weren't that affected by COVID, if you were a young teenager and you never really learned to communicate with people. I get it. I get it. What they did to you was criminal. And I'm so disappointed in our society for falling for that one. So thank you, Moon. I love that you guys want to read my book. So like I said, I've published 2 books. The first one is about 9/11, and the second one is about my life. So you can go to my website, jillbooks.com, and I will make sure you get a book. And I've lived for almost 60 years now. I have a lot of wisdom, and I'm a good writer. I'm an editor, and now I'm a book publisher. So let me tell you about my third book that I didn't write, but I published it, which is so exciting for me because I don't go through Kindle, I don't go through KDP or whatever, all of those online things that make you pay to publish your own book. I did it all myself. I learned how to do the programs. I have my own printer that's out in Colorado that I send my books to be printed. And oh, thank you, Julie. You're so kind. Oh boy, I wonder about you people. Anyway, hi David. Hi Mark. Hi Anthony. So, Spirit got rid of Julie. You know, I don't care. I don't care if people come and say I look old. I don't care. I don't care what you think about me, really. I care about what God thinks of me, and that's the audience I'm really playing to. But I want to help you guys too, because clearly some of you need help desperately. Anyway, those of you who want to write a book and you don't know what to do, you don't know how to get started, well, I'm going to do a series of videos since I've done it myself and to kind of walk you through it. So if you do want to write a book, I'm going to give you free advice. I'm going to tell you how to get started. I think that it's something that if you want to do it, you should do it, and nothing should stop you. Not money and not time. But also, and here's what I learned after 40 years of trying to write this one book, is that nothing is really on your time. I think it's all on God's time. And I wasn't meant to write that book earlier. I used to feel terrible about it. I'm writing this book. I'm talking about it nonstop. I'm telling everyone, and it's written. The book has been written for a long time. It's just that it's like 5,000 pages. and you can't put out a book that's 5,000 pages. Like, for one, as an author, it costs a lot of money to make a book very long. Now, my book is already like 364 pages, I think, and that's a lot. And it also, I do bigger print because my readers have asked me to make the print a little bit larger, and that makes my book cost more too. But it's easy to read. The print's a good size. Everybody's happy with it. All my readers love this book. I'm still always, working on it. Like, I every now and then I go through and I'm still finding typos. Like, that is the craziest thing. You write a big book and there's going to be typos everywhere, and some of them are obvious and others are so unobvious that you could read it 50 times and suddenly find one. I was a proofreader, by the way, for Rolling Stone magazine. I think I did that for like 2 years. And did you know that every magazine, and I'll tell you about Rolling Stone because that's where I worked, but you have 5 proofreadings for the magazine. So it has to be read by 5 different people. And everybody has to contribute, and if you find a comma out of place or anything, then you tell the editor. And I will never forget, one time I was the 5th read on an article, and the editor, and I don't know if he's still there, his name was Sid Holt, that guy. Very cool. Anyway, we worked at the bottom of Rolling Stone magazine, not where the nice offices were. They called it the dungeon. We worked in the dungeon. We could go up to the bathroom up in the main offices, and that was really cool. And there was like memorabilia from all rock and roll and everything everywhere. I remember there was a suit that was Michael Jackson's. That was really cool. Anyway, but I worked in the dungeon because that's where the proofreaders work. And I had been the 5th read, and I found a typo. I'll never forget, Sid went crazy, and he started screaming at everybody, even me, and I was the one who found it. I didn't get in any trouble because I did find the typo, but it took 5 reads, and that's what happens. Typos happen. So, hi, Samit. Hi, Lydia. Hey, Green-Eyed Lady. We're in Indiana, Pennsylvania today on a beautiful golf course. We've got a beautiful sunrise. It's just gorgeous here. You can feel the fall setting in, and the trees are just starting to change color. Not too much. You can just see a little bit of reddish and gold. Really beautiful here. So we're talking about publishing books or writing your own book. And I was telling everybody, for you new people coming on, how I have a book signing on Tuesday. And this book is about my life. And And it's interesting to have a book signing and write a book about your life, and all your friends and family are going to read it. That's kind of crazy. So I'm going to try to do my book signing live, maybe. I don't know. I get really shy about things like this, but I'm going to try to include you guys on my book signing. And if you have any questions about writing your own book, here I am. Right now, I am in Indiana, Pennsylvania, but later today, I'll be back in Pittsburgh. So, why would you think I've had a rough life? I'm on a beautiful golf course. It's not rough. Usually, I'm on the beach, though. This is the beach report for a reason. And those of you who have not watched the show before and you love the beach, just hold on. I'll be back home in a week. But until then, and also as I go back home, I drive everywhere. I don't fly in planes anymore. I don't trust them. So I take my car, which is a great way to see the country, and I will hit every beach on the way down to Florida. So thank you, Jose. I will take you to the beach. In Ohio, you don't have any beaches. I know, Trudy. Oh, you live in Texas. You do have a beach in Texas. I was in Texas actually in May for the first time I drove to Texas and met some of my followers from Texas. And oh my gosh, I want to live in Texas. I love you guys in Texas. You are such great people, and Texas is beautiful. But I do love Florida, so we'll see what happens. And I know you might think that driving is more dangerous than flying, and in a way I guess it is, but I get to see more of the country. I get to bring all my stuff. I get to stop when I want. And if I get in a crash, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that, but I'm just saying, if you're in a plane and it crashes, your chances aren't very good. If you're in a car, you never know. So yes, my book signing is in Pittsburgh. And if you guys want to come to it, you can. They are taking RSVPs. It's at the Cranberry Public Library, so look that up, and that's where I'll be. And you do have to RSVP for it. So I hope I get a good turnout. I already know I'm going to get a good turnout. They told me that, so many people have RSVP'd. So I know there's going to be a lot of people there, and it's going to be fun. And then we'll go out afterwards with all my friends, so it should be interesting. South Central Los Angeles, and it never rains in Southern California. My son lives in California. Everyone wants to know where I am. Hi, Lydia. I'm in Indiana, Pennsylvania, on a very beautiful golf course. Did you know that looking at the green of a big field of grass like I am right here, did you know that just looking at this color is very soothing to your eyes and to your mental state of mind? So if you want to be in a good mood, I suggest that you get out and you rest your eyes on some green. And I'm not a golfer. No, I've actually never golfed. I've done mini golf. I wouldn't consider that golfing. Some of my friends are crazy golfers, like crazy. Like they want to do it every single day. They're addicted. I'm not addicted to golfing. But it's so beautiful. I think I could be. Anyway, if you also look at a big body of water like the ocean or a lake, that shade of blue is also very soothing to the eyes. So you can always help yourself out if you feel down and you just need a little boost. Seriously, look at the green of a field like this, or look at the blue of the ocean. Hey, Jason works at a golf course. Yes, this is a meticulously owned golf course. I mean, everything about it is perfect. I know, where are all the golfers? I don't see any golfers, which is really kind of weird because it's already 8:30 and you would think they'd be out here by now. But anyway, it's just me and you guys. All right, well, I am going to take off. I've got to get ready for my book signing on Tuesday. I have to drive back to Pittsburgh today. I'm meeting a friend later today, and we're going to talk about it too. So I'm getting prepared. Oh boy, your comments. I don't know what to think about you people sometimes. But anyway, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the Beach Report. Next week, or after next week, actually. I'm not leaving Pittsburgh until Saturday. So after Saturday, we'll get to see the beach again. I miss it so much. All right, I want you to have a wonderful rest of your day. And join me later because we will be doing the Charlie Kirk Memorial this evening. And just a reminder, my mods are going to be on red alert, so please don't come onto that show about Charlie Kirk's memorial with hatred in your heart. Let's try to make this world a better place. My husband's dead, human being. He died almost exactly 3 years ago. And I will be heading down to the Florida Keys later this month to honor him. He was from Cuba and he loved the Florida Keys, and it was the last place we went before he passed away. So thank you. So we're going to honor the life of Ray Becerra later this month. But tomorrow, today, we're going to honor the life of Charlie Kirk. And yes, son, big move on H-1B visa. I'm following that. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, guys. I didn't get much time with him, so now all my time is in the afterlife, and that's okay. You're right, Con. Nobody deserves to be shot for their beliefs and their thoughts. Nobody. All right, you guys. I'll see you later at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Please bring your best selves to that. If you feel like you can't behave, then go somewhere else. Because if you come on the Beach Report and you say nasty things about Charlie Kirk, about our country, about President Trump, about me, about any of my followers, you will be removed. That's just the way it is. What happened to Charlie was horrible. What happened to Irina was horrible. And this country needs to heal now. So I hope you guys can participate in the healing, because we don't need any more hate. All right, you guys. Ciao for now. See you later on the Beach Report. And Alexis, sorry. Yes, ask me questions about writing books. I'm always happy to help people with that. All right, we'll see you guys later. Ciao for now.